Welcome to part 2 of WordPress settings for writers. The writing settings manage the adding and editing of posts and pages. They also control optional functions like remote publishing, post via email, and update services. You select the default post category from the default post category dropdown. The default post category is automatically assigned to a post if you fail to assign any other categories. If you use a specific category more than another, you can select that category here to be the default. In an earlier lesson, I edited the original default category, uncategorized, to news, which is now the default. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Let's look at the default post format. WordPress has 10 different post formats. It's outside the scope of this course to cover what each one does. In my experience, every author website I've ever built only uses the standard post format. I'll stick with that here. Don't use post via email to publish posts using an email client. It's an awkward experience. The post never turns out the way you want it to and can cause security headaches. Update services are one way for your site to alert search engines you have added new content. Depending on who you talk to, services can be a valuable source of traffic or an outdated technology that doesn't work anymore. I'm in the camp that anything that legitimately raises your profile with search engines is worth pursuing. Of course, there's also a debate about which list of update services is most effective. I recommend starting with the official update service list from WordPress. I'll copy the list from the WordPress page and paste into the update services area. Then save the changes I've made to the writing settings. The reading settings reflect WordPress's evolution from a blogging platform to a fully featured content management system. Starting with your homepage displays, we can choose if we want WordPress to act as a dedicated blogging platform, where the homepage displays the latest posts, or if we want to set a static homepage and place our blog posts elsewhere. Earlier, we published the pages we need here. We'll set those as our homepage and posts page. Blogging is an effective marketing tool for authors. We can start configuring the best platform for that with the blog pages setting. Set blog pages show at most to 20. Set syndication feeds show the most recent to 20. We only want RSS feeds to show an excerpt. We want the visitor to come to our website. The search engine visibility option can ask search engines not to index the website. I recommend ticking this box while building the website, but don't forget to untick when the site is done. Click Save to activate these new settings. Discussion settings. Inviting comments on a WordPress website cause two major problems. The first is that managing comments generated by bots, hackers, and fraudsters becomes a major time suck. They will attempt to inject comments into your website with links back to pornography, gambling, or crypto sites. I've seen bots add thousands of comments a day to unprotected websites. The second problem is a website with empty comment sections just looks sad. Not getting any comments on your website, especially when starting out, will kill your enthusiasm to grow your online platform. For these reasons, I don't recommend activating comments. Let's turn them off and configure the rest of the settings. We do want to attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the post, so I'll tick that, but I'll untick the rest of the options in this section. Tick all the options in the Other Comments section, except for Show Comments cookies. Comment pagination. Leave comment pagination unchecked. There should never be a comment posted on this website. However, I'll leave the default ticks in both options in the Email Me Whenever section just in case. It's overkill, but worth having, especially if there is more than one person managing the website. That's the same thought process behind ticking all the boxes in the Before a Comment Appears section. It's a belt and braces approach to stop comments getting added to your author website. There are no changes to be made to the comment moderation or disallowed comment keys. No comments on this website means no need for avatars. I'll untick that option, which removes all the options below. No avatars on the site also removes external calls to Gravatar and other avatar services that add extra load time to the author's website. Now that we have cleaned up all the discussion settings, I'll save and move on to media settings. We don't need to make any changes to media settings, so we'll move straight onto permalinks. The URL to each of the pages and posts on your author website should be permanent and never change, which is why we have the term permalink. By default, WordPress uses web URLs that have the date and name in them. If I stuck with the default settings and added a post with the title Adventure Danger to the Dirk volcano site, it would look like this. This is overly long, clunky to say, and looks awful. However, when we change our permalink structure to post name, it becomes much clearer. dirkvolcano.com/adventure danger. That's a lot easier to share on podcasts, interviews, social posts, and ads. Always use the post name permalink structure. I'm not going to make any changes to the optional fields below, so I can go ahead and save the permalink settings before we go to the last screen in WordPress settings. In this settings screen, we have the choice to create a new privacy page or use an existing page on our website. We already published the default privacy policy page in an earlier lesson. I'll click the Use This Page button to point to the correct location. In this and the previous lesson, we configured our WordPress settings for a secure and high-performing author website. You've learned how to set up default post categories, adjust reading settings for better SEO, choose streamlined permalinks, and manage privacy settings. By implementing these changes, your site is now optimized for speed and security. Join the next lesson to configure a SMTP plugin for reliable email delivery.